and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth. That's verse 10. Here is the note to it. Praise God. Their cruel misdemeanor cried with vengeance, just as Abel's blood cried to God from the ground. Genesis 4 and 10. They were not in heaven, but under the altar, where they had been slain. On this, the altar is upon the earth, not in heaven. Praise God. What was given these martyrs? A white horse were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow men and also their brethren, that they should be healed as they were, should be fulfilled, have fulfilled the course. Note this, that these have been slain during the enemies covered by the preceding seal. These persecutors, most of them at least had died, and if they had not death passed to their punishment as they were supposed, why should the Bible, the figure of personification, is used? In this, this represents the alive and speaking of things that are not as though they have gone into the heresies under the darkness of superstition of preceding seal, covered with irony and shame. Now in the light of the reification, hence are given the white robes, the fine linen. The white robes is the righteousness that they have rested a little longer where they are under the altar, till all others who are to die for their faith have followed them together, as they will be raised in immortality. And we know that the Bible says that the dead will be raised in immortality. Praise God. What was the first scene of the opening of the sixth seal? And I beheld, and he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. That's in verse 12. Following the events of the fifth seal and preceding the signs next mentioned, came a great earthquake. Praise God. The earthquake, the sea first retired and laid the bar dry. And this rolled ends raising 50 feet or more above the ordinary level. The area over which this convulsion extended was very remarkable. The earth raised over 600 persons were perished as the earth was raised. Praise God. Hallelujah.
My God.
Who was the, this happened, this has already happened. Estimate the death of the lower figure, but say that the effect of the quake were felt from Scotland to Asia Minor, and that the distinctive figure of the Lisbon earthquake was the agitation of inland lakes and streams far beyond the disturbed area in Italy, Switzerland, Great Britain, Switzerland, and Norway. Earthquakes. So we see earthquakes have been going on way before now, and there have been some that occurred that was so huge, and how it swallowed up 600 people. What was to follow the great earthquake? And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. In May 19, 1780, is known as the history of dark day. The obstruction extended in varying degrees over New England and into New York. Newspapers, we look at the destruction that happened in New York now, but there was also another destruction way back in the 1700s where destruction hit New York. Praise God. Hallelujah. And the newspapers and there was smoky haze from continued forest fires, which had been notable for several days, was said to have combined with heavy clouds to produce an unaccountable darkness from about 11 a.m. until past midnight. After that which time the moon and the stars reappeared. It was so bad they couldn't see the moon and the stars. The dust of the fire was so great. Praise God. Hallelujah. In connection with the extraordinary phenomena, the moon was reported to appear red. The cause was cited for the forest fires, seemed insignificant and explained such an extreme darkness, and the exact cause was never been settled. Praise God.
Praise the Lord.
What other event has mentioned under this seal? The stars of heaven fell to the earth, even the fig tree casting her untimely figs when she is shaken of the mighty wind. That's in verse 13. When the scriptures mention this stars falling, it evidently means what even as astronomers refer to the falling stars, or meteors, within a little or over half a century following the most notable darkness of the sun and the moon. A number of stars showered occurred, but probably the most remarkable of all of the meteor showers that have ever occurred was at the limit on November 12th. Praise God. Hallelujah. An eyewitness reported this language of the prophets has already been received and as metamorphosis. Yesterday it is literally fulfilled, as no man before yesterday has conceived to be possible that it should be fulfilled. Were I to hunt through nature for a symbol, I could not find one as apt, he said. So then we go to the next seal. What is the next event? In prophecy, mentioned in prophecy. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it was rolled together, and every mountain, island were moved out of their places. This event is still future. The scroll is still the future. It will take place in connection with Christ's second coming. We are now standing between the two events of the last signs of the heaven and the parting of the heavens, removal of earthly things out of their places. The great signs are mentioned, which earthly things are all in past, and the world awaits the sound of the last trumpet as the closing scene on the earth drum. What will this great event affect the world? And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondsman and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and the rock. He said men gonna be running to the mountain in Matthew chapter 24 to hide themselves. Praise God. And they're gonna say, rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? That's in verse 15 and 17. And after the sealing work of Revelation 7, which it takes place under the sixth seal, how is the seventh seal introduced? And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. That to come in Revelation 8 and 1.
Let me just say this.
That's
You
it.
see, okay, there's some other seals spoken of too, but the seals that Jesus started opening in the 6th chapter, I believe it is. As I understood what you were saying too, there's some prototype, some things that seem to have been at that time, but they were just forerunners of that which has yet to come.
Yes.
Now that you were reading about is us, you're reading about the last of the 7 divisions of Daniel is, the seals. What position? Where are they in Daniel? All those catastrophes. That Daniel 9th chapter.
Yes, from Daniel 9
and verse 24.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to mention this. If we compare what Daniel says in 4 verses to what Jesus taught on the Mount of Olives in chapter 24, 13 verses, then when you skip over to Revelation, then John saw the whole thing that Daniel did not write. It's very important to remember that. Look, from Daniel to Jesus, describing, Jesus did it in almost one chapter. But Daniel never saw it. And he didn't write it down like that. But then toward the end, as we got closer to the end time, look what God gave John, the Revelator, if you want to call him that. He saw the whole picture. And I thought that was so fascinating. Now those scrolls, yeah. By the way, I think I mentioned earlier that a scroll, 60 years ago, a scroll from Isaiah was found in the Dead Sea. Hey, now that's really some all these 1,000 years. You mean tell me the Lord allowed one of the books, a scroll, to be found in the sea.
Yeah, I go.
There's so many. Now, there's one thing about these scrolls. Now, if you go and study them on your own, or you go to YouTube or whatever, they really, if the church, whoever, we the church, would point some of this devastation out to people who are lost. See, they don't get that. You're not going to be hearing that talk as much. I don't know what pastor here, you teach about the scrolls and stuff. At your congregation, you teach them. They all know that, right? Amen. That's chapter. Well, the thing that we just mentioned. So maybe as they grow, they say, oh, I remember about the scrolls, and I don't want to be part of it. Where's the church at that time? Believers, we believe that we're caught up. I'm trying to get a reaction here.
Yes, I think the church wasn't caught up.
No, we're talking about the catching the wave. The rapture. There's something called it. But
It's sort of what I said earlier. The church
there's another philosophy, another thing, and it's scripture too. So you have to really study. There's a pre-trib, and then you see some scholars who come with the mid-trib, and they have scriptures too.
Yeah.
And then another post-trib. So, but traditionally, we believe we ain't gonna make none of this.
Amen.
But there is, I don't know, the scholars, biblical, sage, spiritual scholars have found sometimes, like I said, the pre-trib, get your way, you're going up, spend 1,000 years. Is that right? Come on, you Bible scholars, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and then, but we should know about these things. Somebody said, all I want to know is I'm saved, I'm going to heaven. But you know what? When I see Jesus, I think he will reward us and say, you did try to understand the word. You did what I told you to do. When we get over to Revelation, that first chapter, by the 3rd or 4th verse, the Lord told John, blessed are you if you study the Word, if you study Revelation. You know, so, but unfortunately, we don't get this kind of teaching or understanding, even for ministers who are in the pulpit. But you don't have to be in the pulpit, prophets, to teach what Pastor Ford or Dr. here in the pulpit. You better get it for yourself and then pray in the spirit about it and stay in the closet, so to speak.
Amen.
You know, hey, now I'm asking Pastor Ford, should they come out? I got something for children on Revelation. And I'm going to have them to draw those horses and to talk about it, because I've done that before. And the children can grasp this minute if you break it down for them more so than some of us can. We've got to learn where, it's giving over some 144,000, because there's a, between those seals over there, then you see there's a break in Revelation. You say, where did that come from? Why is Revelation broken down there? So,
Yes.
yeah, it's just fascinating.
Yes,
but
it is.
It's a blessing. Go ahead.
I just want to read what you was finishing, what you just said. Blessed is he that readeth
Yes,
and they that hear
yes.
the words of this prophecy
That's John's Revelation.
and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
Right. That's what we need to be. I didn't learn that. I had to read it for myself. Nobody taught me that when I got saved 49 years ago. I didn't hear that taught me. But as I grew and got hunted and got along with God, I said, hey, I got to get it. You want me to study, want me to know just about Revelation just as much as I may know about the book of St. John, or Mark, or Luke, or whatever.
And reading is continually reading
Yes.
with a TH on the end.
Yes. And we got, as we learned it, like you were teaching on the feast and all related, and those who came before y'all, or whether they're the bad one, listen, I'm still learning. I want to rip it off like I don't have to look at the, the understanding to read it. She's known this all her life, but when we, in the Word of God, we should internalize it. Pass it on to our children.
Anyway,
Go on.
I talk about it every time. Hearing is one thing, reading is another thing. Applying it. When you hear the word of God, then you read it. Don't just go by what the pastor is preaching, maybe 1 hour, 10 minutes. It's always good to take time. That is why God said, meditate on my word.
Yeah.
Let this word not depart from you. What does it mean? Know what God is talking
Get
about.
ready,
Pastor.
Pastor. Yeah.
So all that knowing the word of God is very good.
Yes.
Know it for yourself, then try to apply it when circumstances happen. And you know, God said this, God spoke this, God responded this way. Don't just go by what people are saying. Read it yourself. And
Amen.
And looking at the scroll, I mean, it started from all what that is happening from the first scroll, the trials and tribulations to the victory. The last one says blessed and honored. So when you just read it, you know what is telling you, what is talking about. All the things that is happening in today's world is what has been written in this scroll.
That's right.
See,
That's right.
he's talking about the earthquake, he's talking about different things. It's there. Shooting is happening today. I mean, a lot of things that lead to destruction. So the accuser, which is the devil, the dragon, back again to the dragon, because it's only revelation that is talking about the dragon. So all what is happening in today's world, the Antichrist has been written on the seal, the scroll. And nobody was there to open it except Jesus. And they were afraid, even the 74 elders. Because what the power was not there. The Jesus rose from the right hand of the Father. And then he said, I will go. That's how, because this has been written. And it has the prophecy of God has to be fulfilled. Has to be fulfilled. Whether we like it or not, what God says must surely
It's going to come to pass. I want to say this too. When in my second year of salvation, I had this dream that we talk about now. And I said, wait a minute, from Jesus, and I saw the sky, and the whole thing. And I found out later, I said, God, you brought that to me, and the fire was coming down from heaven, that whole thing. I never forgot that.
Amen.
Oh my God, we think of it just like that.
Yeah.
But what he was saying is, for such a day as this, he said, I'm going to put this in your heart, and you share whatever I've given you with others.
It's gonna happen because I told Apostle one time, I said, God showed me 3 times for 3 years, consecutive years. He showed me the major prophets. Abraham, he showed me Isaiah, he showed me Moses, he showed all those things, and they're revealing the Indian one thing is written and is strong. And we will continue from time to time, and time to time as we reveal the Bible.
So get ready,
This will
Apostle.
come to the end of the time.
Right.
God's children need to be acquainted with it.
One thing we've got to do, and I'm working on this for myself, you know, the prayer, spending time, great revivals, for example. People sought the Lord for, say, 5 and 6 and 7, 8 hours a day in prayer. Hallelujah. Nothing happened. I forget what country it was in. But, oh my God, prayer and reading the word and fasting. And I haven't gotten there yet, you know. I don't pray long enough because I don't pray consecutively 5 hours, for example,
It
at a
doesn't
time.
matter how
But-
many hours you pray,
Yes.
it's how you pray.
Yes.
You can pray for 20 minutes or 5 minutes, God will just give
Yes.
itself.
Pray in the Holy Ghost. That's what we've got the Spirit of God for. It'll
That's
make
right.
a difference in our lives. What you about to say, brother?
Just adding one point. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna progressively happen as
Uh-huh.
well. Just like the Passover happened, then, then the Pentecost happened. I mean, the progressiveness
Yeah.
of God's word. So it's not like Pentecost happened all of it happened at one time.
So,
It's been prophesied and it will be progressively revealed.
That's
It
right.
happened. So I just wanted to say, we can look for what is the next move of God progressively.
yes.
Amen.
Praise God. I think what God is saying, and this is serious business, you know, that He would allow Pastor Ford to say, let's have something on at your birthday time. I said, okay, Pastor, let's not talk about my birthday, but let's talk about the Word of God. And that's how that evolved. But only 4 weeks ago. And, you know, that's a short time. But I used to put something together for 6 months or a year, something like that. When she did, let's give Pastor Ford a thank you for allowing us to come. That's a part of the plan too.
Yeah.
You know, share about something.
Hallelujah.
And y'all, maybe they were here, but the prophetic word came through strongly this morning
Yes.
after praise. Strongly. He used different ones. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You don't see my higher.
Hallelujah.
See, there are angels all around this room here. And that's what God said. You know, it's just exciting. Hallelujah. You don't go see them go shake. You know, you feel like you cut a giant. You see that lady up there, the way she shouts, well, she does that all the time.
Amen.
She's crazy for Jesus. And when she was doing street ministry and under the tent, and just because she's from Nigeria and raised from the dead on the land, that don't mean, but we in America, we got so much other distraction to finish it. But God bless her. We're glad that she's an American citizen and all that good.
Amen.
But when you get, oh, praise God, praise God, praise God, hallelujah. Okay, let's let,
Okay, I just wanted to sum
she's
it all
real
up.
prepared.
All right, to sum this up, the key to chronology, the breaking of the seals, the blowing of the trumpets, and the pouring out of the bowls
Okay.
are not concurrent, they are consecutive.
Yes.
They occur one after the other, not side by side. The scroll itself cannot be opened until the 7 seals are broken. And then we talked about the martyrs under the altar, that's the 5th seal. And then the cosmic disturbance, which is the 6th seal. That is the sign in the sun and the moon and the stars. And then God's wrath will be poured out. Praise God. That's the 7th seal, which is the judgment
Praise God. Look,
Praise God.
go home and study about the silence between seal 6 and 7, is it? The silence in
And
heaven.
they of the Lord.
Yeah,
Amen.
and then the day, I think, silence, and this is it, after the silence, that's when God really takes care of business.
And the second
Amen.
thing is talking about the need, it's time for people to repent.
Yes.
So those that have ears to hear, let them hear what the Spirit of God says.
Praise
Other
God.
things will pass away, but the word of God will never pass away. So it's time for people to repent and accept Jesus as their personal Savior. He's real, He's real, He's real. No changes.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Lord.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, go on up, Prophet Ellis. I was just calling my name. I'm gonna come back to the children.